Right, chat. Here's a quick breakdown of sensitivity and ADSNs and just how to overall improve your aim. So first off, first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and bite the bullet and you want to remap your controller. It doesn't matter which one you have, but you want an action button on your R3, whether that be jump, slide, dive, prone, whatever. You just want an action button right there. That way, when you press that button, you don't have to remove your thumb from R3 and you can keep on with jumping or sliding, all while making aim corrections. Next, and my thing, which is the biggest for me, stick sensitivity. You can rely on YouTubers. I really don't care, but honestly, find what feels good for you. I am personally a more precise aimer, so I lower my sensitivity. That way, I can keep everything, in my control. Next thing you want to do is what you're looking for is your ADS sensitivity. So I'm in my quick settings. I'm going to go to controller. I'm going to R1 over to sensitivity multiplier. And now I'm going to scroll down. I really can't tell you if all of these matter, but the one that's most important is ADS sensitivity multiplier. What that does is it determines how much of your raw aim is being used. What I mean by raw aim is I mean these settings: your left, your right, your ups, your downs. That's your raw aim. And when you come to sensitivity multiplier, that slows it down or makes it a fraction of what it is. So I'm regularly 1.1. When I ADS, my speed of sensitivity is, let's call it 80% of 1.1. I'm not going to figure out that math, but you see it slows my aim down by 20%, which makes it easier for me to get those initial corrections. A lot of this other stuff, man, it's not really just very important. You can go into your aiming settings, but what you want to do, you want to make sure you have on ADS sensitivity transition timing. You want that to instant. That way, whenever the minute your controller registers an L2 or whatever your ADS button is, the minute it registers that, it instantly applies the sensitivity multiplier. That's very important because you can start making micro adjustments as soon as you aim down sight. Aim response curve is dynamic. That is pretty much saying it's going for a 1-for-1 ratio of whatever your sensitivity is. The controller is directly mapping it. If you could just read the descriptions on the right side and tell you what's the difference between standard and dynamic, and you'll see that there's a very big difference. I'm not a fan of custom scenes. I may get into it when I start sniping, but that's just not me right now. Another thing that actually will make life a lot easier is change your dead zones. So you have a min and a max. I honestly prefer to run a 8 on my min. I've been playing around with it, lowering it. I might go a little bit lower today. But that's the minimum amount of movement you have to do for your movement to actually be registered. You want the minimum as low as you can get it without stick drift, and maximum, this is just my preference, maybe because of how I move, but I set my max to 70. And let me show you why. It's going to be hard to do with a controller with you not being face to face with me, but I've tried to get a pretty much a 1-for-1 mapping of where my physical controller stops my analog to where the dead zone registers it at stop. And it's hard to see now, but the minute there's a little bit of correction I could do, I'm not that concerned about it. But when you see my controller hit that red dead zone stop, that is when you see my icon on the screen hit that red dead zone stop, that is more in line with the physical boundaries of the controller. I say it's hard to show, but if I set this back to 99, oh crap. All right, so if I set this back to 99 and then I go put the test back on, like there's a little bit of play when the controller stops and the digital interface registers that I'm where I need to be at. That's why I kind of just played around with it, got a good feel for it, and realized 70 feels like more of a natural dead zone of the controller itself. That's why I run 70. Right stick min is at 7, right stick max is at 99. I really don't see a need to change right stick max. I don't know. It's just, don't know. And now your dead zones for your triggers. Set those as so close to 0 as possible. That way, the minute, the millisecond that your controller registers the trigger input, the game has to respond. Now what that does to your aim is pretty much makes it as close to makes it pretty much as close to it's not shit. Yeah. All right. Let's actually use something we were using Warzone here. I want to use an Iron Sight AMAX, but yeah, this is closer to what I use in Warzone. And you can kind of see the difference. It just makes it easier to where I don't have to put a lot of stress on the controller and in turn my hand slash thumb. That way my recoil is actually like going where I want it to go, and it more so feels like my weapons doing what I want them to do.